Boys and girls, it's Mrs. Pro back with some more fun reading. And today we're going to continue talking about visualizing. And what visualizing is taking the author's words and making a mental image or a movie in our heads. And sometimes the author has a picture book and there's pictures already for us, but it's recognizing those words that help us create that image in our mind, or those pictures that the illustrator used to write or to draw the pictures to go with the words. So I'm going to share the story, Where the Wild Things Are, and we're going to pay very close attention to some of those key words or evidence of those words that really help us create that mental image within the story. So let's enjoy Where the Wild Things Are. The story and pictures are by Maurice Sendak.
Where the wild things are. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another, his mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. That very night, in Max's room, a forest grew. And grew. And grew. Until his ceiling hung with vines. And the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max. And he sailed off through night and day. And in and out of weeks. And almost over a year. To where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. Now stop, Max said. And sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes, showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye and sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day and into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot.
All right, I hope you guys enjoyed Where the Wild Things Are. And in the story, of course, there were pictures in the story, so they kind of created that mental image for us, the author did, using the author's words. But if we did not have pictures in there, we could use some of the words that the author used, such in the beginning they said that Max was in a wolf suit. So in our minds, we could see him in that wolf suit, that he was mischief and causing mischief. And whereas in the book, we've seen that he was chasing his dog down the stairs. So in our visual, if that wasn't there, ours might look something different. As to what is mischievous to us, we might see that. And then it says once he's in his room, the forest grew and it grew and it grew. So we could imagine the trees, or mentally have a mental image of the trees growing in his room, and then the ceiling hung with vines, it said. Other words that they use is then he was in an ocean on a private boat. So we could see him in the water on a boat, and it said he sailed off, and we knew time had gone by because they used the words days and weeks have passed and then almost a year. And then when he met the wild things, it says they roared terrible roars, gnashed their terrible teeth, rolled their terrible eyes, and showed their terrible claws. So all that is, it's kind of scary to us. So we're seeing that these wild things are maybe these big creatures, and they have these big loud roars and these big teeth and these big eyes, and they have these big claws, and they're not happy. And then it shows that he tamed them. And so we know from that word, the word tamed, that he was able to calm them down. And it even says in there too, that he looked into their yellow eyes. So we knew that all of the wild things' eyes were yellow. And then it says as he started, and then they were frightened by him. So we know that they now turned probably a little soft, so they're not so angry anymore. And they named him the king. So we can imagine in our head what a king looks like and how they treated the king. And then it says he was lonely. And so there's some more keywords, some more evidence that lets us know now we're going to see that maybe he's not so happy anymore. We might see somebody that's showing that they're sad, they miss their family. And then it says when he tried to leave, the wild things cried, "Please don't go." So we can picture in our mind the visual of them crying at the shore saying, "Please don't go." And then how they got angry because he chose to leave. And they again started rolling their terrible yellow eyes. We know that they're yellow now. Gnashed their terrible teeth, rolled their yellow eyes, showed their terrible claws. And then it tells that he's in his own room. And we knew that he wanted to go there and his supper was waiting for him. So we know that now he's probably feeling happy and at ease. So we create that mental image in our head from the words that the author uses. So we're going to try a little activity with this right now. So I'm going to share my screen again. Get out of there. Oh, there's my office hours. I don't want that. Okay, so here we go. So I have a sentence up here and it says, Kim tiptoed up to the box where 3 little yellow chicks slept. She peeked in and threw some grain in the box. They suddenly woke up, chirping happily. So there are no pictures with this sentence. But what I would do is to really look at the words that the author used to create that image or that visualizing in our mind. So some keywords is we know that Kim tiptoed up to the box. So we know that there's a box, okay? So we know that she tiptoed up to the box. We know there are 3 little yellow chicks sleeping. So we might draw a picture of her tiptoeing and we might have a box there and there might be 3 yellow chicks sleeping. And then it says she peeked in and threw some grain in the box. So that she peeked, we know what it looks like to peek, and then we know that she threw some grain in the box. So we have that picture in our mind. And then the chicks suddenly woke up, chirping happily. So we have this picture in our mind. So what I'm asking you to do is to draw a picture of the visual picture that you have in your mind, the mental image that you have in your mind when you read this sentence, and send me a picture of it through text or through email. I would love to see it. Or this week we're going to be Zooming again on Thursdays at 2:30 to 3. Here's the meeting idea. This will be our every weekly Zoom time, and you can bring it there to share it with us there. So keep visualizing, keep enjoying books, do what good readers do, because I know all of you are great readers and you're visualizing, you're connecting to the characters and you're making connections, and enjoy getting lost in a book. And I will see you guys on Thursday. Have a great day. Bye-bye.